This is MIA 2K Podcast, and we are your ticket from Miami to Seoul. We are your pilots, Kathy and Laura, two fun-seeking girls with obsessive fandom tendencies, taking you on a ride through the Hallyu wave from our perspective as opinionated, grown Latina fans from Miami.
Before we close the cabin doors, make sure you're following us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you like to watch, our in-flight podcast video is available on YouTube and Spotify.
Once we reach our cruising altitude, we'll be serving one thing and one thing only, piping hot tea. We're ready to fly into today's topic with our hot and sunny takes.
So fasten your seatbelts, sit back, relax, and prepare for takeoff.
Hi guys!
Hey, hey!
Welcome to our end of the year K-pop awards. Woo, woo, woo. So we are unhinged here on this channel, right? And we have celebrated the birthday of K-pop. We turned K-pop into a person, a full Aries, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we celebrated her 30th birthday and her 31st birthday kind of as well. And then we had this idea that you'll see why we had it a while back. And we were like, Mama is going very strong. The Blue Dragon Awards are going very strong. Why not MIA 2K? So yeah, we decided to do a little awards show for you guys today as our closing episode for the year. And we're very excited. Laura, slayed this presentation.
Awesome.
So if you haven't been watching our podcast and you tend to listen to the audio only, I think you should watch this episode because the visuals are it. So yeah, and we have to make our points, with
We do.
we need that little support of the visual slides. So highly recommend for you to watch this episode. Also, we happen to be dressed up, made up, hair did.
Oh, makeup done.
We matched the presentation as well. We put in the work, so we made it valuable and it made sense for you to watch us today.
There's tinsel and everything.
Yeah, we went all out.
It's a big deal.
Serious business up in here. So I think without further ado, we can start. But I do want to share that Laura and I did advent calendars for each other this year. She had this brilliant idea a few months ago, not even a few months ago, in November at some point.
Yeah.
And we decided to frantically order things for each other, make an advent calendar. And we exchanged them today, and we'll be opening the gifts for the next 12 days and posting videos to our social media, mainly TikTok, because we don't want to overwhelm Instagram. But if you follow us on Instagram, we'll definitely link it out from there. So if you want to see the gifts that Laura and I bought/made for each other, because we had a limited budget that we both went over for, a little bit. But yeah, if you wanna check that out, definitely take a look at our social media channels, which is at MIA, the number 2K podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere else. But that's really where we're going to be posting the advent calendar stuff. So I think we're ready to get started. Yeah. Okay. So welcome to the K-pop End of Year Awards 2023 by yours truly, Kathy and Laura at MIA 2K podcast.
Let's get it. So bear with us as we move our little faces around the presentation.
Yeah, because the screens will all be different.
Right. But it's fine. We'll get through it together. So to start, we have our 2023 awards categories list.
Yeah.
We will be talking about Sluttiest Waist.
We'll also be talking about Best Shaved Heads Male Idols exclusive.
Fashion Chokehold.
Ooh.
All genders.
Ooh. Yes, all genders. Most educational song because we care about the future.
We do. And the children.
Yes.
Biggest company fuck ups.
The best innuendo in music that we heard this year.
And our, what is it, daesang?
Yeah, our daesang, because we are legit. Our top most important award of the night will be the song of the year. And this was hard.
I was gonna say, she doesn't say hard.
This was difficult. This was not my happiest moment or experience. I had to do a lot of soul searching. So we'll talk about why we picked the songs that we did and our rationale for it. And we were going to do either artist of the year or album of the year, but it just got too hairy at that point, and we just said, let's keep this fun.
It was too
We're
stressful.
doing this to have fun. We want you guys to have fun.
Yeah.
We don't want the stress. Like Spotify Wrapped already smoked us both. We don't need any additional roasting anywhere else here, okay?
It really did.
So yeah, without further ado, again, every time I say without further ado, take a shot. Let's start the MIA 2K Awards. Woo!
Let's get it. Let's start with Sluttiest Waist.
Sluttiest Waist. So this is actually the category that inspired everything. So if you guys are not on Twitter, you may not have heard this poetry of blessed be the asteroid that fragmented and formed the meteor that fell on prehistoric land, decimating the animals that became fossils and subsequently oil, which was then extracted and used in the manufacture of the fuel that powered the construction equipment to build the hospitals where these slutty wastes were born. The way that this tweet had me in a chokehold all of 2021, y'all don't understand. Had to bring it back for this category because it just made sense.
Oh.
So, Sluttiest Waste, we'll share exactly the rubric of how we're going to grade these wastes and their slutty, what's it called? The Richter scale. Sorry. Sorry. Of sluttiness. So, number one, how exposed was it? You know, shirtless is always cool. We love a shirtless moment, but there's nothing sluttier than some coverage because,
That is so true.
girl, so bring on the crop tops, okay? Number two, body proportions, very important for the slutty waist to
Very
be a slutty
important.
waist. A truly slutty waist requires a substantial shoulder to waist measurement ratio.
Oof, you're
Like,
right.
I used emojis to, make sure that there was a lot of proportional ratio going on. So
Scientific, I like it.
very important. Yeah, very scientific. We are data driven here. And the third category in our rubric is the zaddy vibes, because with a slutty waist comes great responsibility. So without the swag, a slutty waist is a waste. I didn't mean to become a philosopher to this presentation, but somehow, someway, I kind of did. We're gonna start with our nominees. First up, we have Mino from Shiny. And we are showing an image from the super concert at the KSPO Dome on June 23rd, 2023. This was a moment for all of Showels and all of Twitter and anyone with
K-pop.
eyes.
The world.
Yeah, because he was in a full BDSM getup. And then Temin said, that's not enough.
Never.
Let me lift his shirt and give the people what they want. So the stylist absolutely snapped with the choices. And then Temin gave us the gift that keeps on giving, because to this day, every time I look at this picture, I'm like, wow, that is an Adonis. That is a Greek god. That is a man right there. So going with our rubric, exposed, hell yeah, he is. The ratio, Mino is, a little bit square, but he has enough to make it still qualify for a
Right.
ratio of like good proportions. Zaddy, I use the Pisces 69 emoji, and that has no explanation needed.
It's perfect.
I think I explained myself. Bloody score 100. My man's, he gets an A. He's perfect. Everything that he does is great. And final thoughts, my charisma is on fire. Thanks, Mino. Next nominee, we have Mingy from 80s, which is one of Laura's biases. So definitely excited to have him on the list and
Always.
join the ranks.
Always.
He is being shown from the Cosmopolitan magazine Korea August 2023 issue.
It was
They had a group photo shoot, and then they had solo photo shoots. But what he wore for the group photo shoot, truly.
I remember it was earth shattering when I saw it.
Yes.
When we all saw it,
Yes,
honestly.
it was a moment.
It was, I wish I could go back to it.
But
Yeah.
he did that. The stylist did that. And blessed be the fruit. So yeah, the rubric, is he exposed? Yes, like with a little crop situation, which is just what the doctor ordered. Ratio, duh. Like Mingy without a doubt has one of the sluttiest waists in K-pop, like before this conversation even
And I
happened.
feel like one of the best ratios because he's not just big shoulders, tiny waist. He's tall, big shoulders, tiny waist, thick thighs. Like literally,
Lean machine.
he is obnoxious.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah, yeah.
He's insufferable and con toda la razón.
Yeah, absolutely. Zaddy's score on the rubric for me is Avi. Like that's just a score. I don't make the rules.
Wow.
And then the slutty score overall for me is a 69. Different from Mino 69, by the way. I wrote this one out. It's not an emoji. I mean business. So, and my final thoughts on this is I'd like to wear this Canadian tuxedo. If you're making the mistake of not watching our podcast episode today, just so you know, Mingy is wearing a denim crop jacket with a denim jean that has the like belt area folded, like you know the slutty TikTok girls are doing now. So that's Mingy. That's the second nominee, and we're ready to go to the next one, which is Christopher Bangtan from Stray Kids. He birthed 7 children, but you'd never know it by how snatch his waist is. Okay. It is ridiculous how amazing this man's abs are and the frequency with which he puts them on display. Okay. His rubric exposed the 100 emoji because it's just 100% of the time.
Always and forever.
The ratio, the emoji is SOS. We need help. It's he needs help, really. I think everyone needs help. Zaddy, yeah, I mean, he is literally a father of 7. I don't think I need to
Literally.
repeat myself. Slutty score, he's a 10, 10 out of 10. Just that waist, the way that that man works out and keeps in shape
Yeah.
is insane. And last thoughts, fabric scissors cower at the sight of him because I almost wrote a blog post one time that was called Bangchan, Are You Okay? And it was just about the crop top situation consistently. So yeah, the picture that we have on screen right now is from the Maniac World Tour white outfit, which was from spring 2022. But you can look at Bangchan's abs anywhere from 2018 to now.
Yeah.
They're the fucking same. They're perfect. Perfect. No notes.
Still showing them.
Yes. Next nominee, we have one Jungkook, which sadness is coming over us as he and Jimin just entered the enlistment center as we're recording this. But he gave us this gift before leaving, a Calvin Klein campaign where he bared a lot, not as much as
Everything.
what people usually bear during Calvin Klein campaigns. But I think if we saw him in his underwear, army would collapse.
The
Like
world would end.
Boraland would not exist ever again.
The world would end.
So with Jungkook, the abs only used to come out during fake love, but in chapter 2 they stay out. And I think that's real love. Sorry for my poetry, but I meant
That was
it.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. For the rubric exposed, I use the Statue of Liberty emoji because we're finally free. For the ratio, the emoji is I'm on my knees because I think we all saw the picture that was it Jimin posted it for Jungkook's birthday when there was like both of their backs on in that
It was
lake,
Jimin.
black and white.
It was Jimin.
Good God, the ratio of the back to waist. I can't. Listen, I ceased to exist that day a little bit. Zaddy vibes emoji is girl doing a cartwheel because I think the children will understand. And slutty score, the emoji is biting my lips. So that's all I need to say. And final thoughts. This is Jungkook, and you're not watching the Disney Channel. I mean, we live this. And then I think we have one more candidate, and that is one Shonu from Monster X. From the Coupon Play series at the Seoul World Cup Stadium on July 27th of this year. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the picture, is the moment, is the man that inspired this entire episode. Since July of this year, we've been working on this presentation, on this episode, on these categories, because just wow. When I measured this man with emojis, it was like a 5-to-2 ratio. It's insane. His body proportions. Oh my God. The rubric is his waist exposed. No, actually, he's the only candidate that we did not pick an exposed picture of his waist. There are many,
Many, many, many.
many. But this picture in particular, which is again the reason for all this unhingedness, it's not exposed, and that's okay.
He doesn't need it.
I don't need to see it. I'm
Oh,
seeing
no.
enough. I know what's under those clothes. I can go find other pictures and, put the picture together. Ratio, infinity. Like infinity stones. Done. I'm done. Snapped and I'm out of here. I evaporated into thin air. Zaddy, infinity. Infinity. Do we need to play Daddy's Home again?
We really don't.
And Slutty score, infinity. We just don't make the rules. So these are our 5 candidates, but we do have actually some honorable mentions as well because there are entirely too many slutty waists in K-pop, and we couldn't really just leave all these people out. So we will mention again honorably Yosong from 80s, self-explanatory. Han from Stray Kids. I think he really, really is giving Bangchan a run for his money
Oh yeah.
in terms
Oh,
of
yeah.
being the Stray Kids representative for the Sluttiest
yeah.
Waist. I think he has a better ratio than Bangchan, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Bangchan has just been more consistently exposing the act, so
Yes.
it's just a different
Yes,
tactic.
yes.
But Maniac and La 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 comebacks, Han gave us
What we needed.
what we needed,
What the world needed.
what we deserved. Well, I don't know if we deserved it, but we thank him for his service. We have Kai from EXO. I think there are entirely too many comebacks and concepts that we could pull from for the Sluttiest Waist.
Yeah.
We went with Rover because that was the recent one, and
Yeah. He's
it is
giving.
what it is. But wow, what a waste. What a waste that man has. Hyungwon from Monsta X.
I think a surprise candidate here.
I think he should have been on the main category. But again, Shonu was the one who inspired things. So we put Hyungwon in the backup. But Hyungwon truly, I think, probably has the most ridiculous proportions out of anyone on the list.
And it's all new. It's all newly made, newly worked on, newly everything.
My man is putting in the work, and we thank him for it. And we admire him and wish him also a safe and fast enlistment, as he is just over a month now that has been in the camp. Next, we have Taemin from SHINee. Listen, guys, Taemin came for us, and you're going to see a lot of him today because Guilty era Taemin.
Oh my God.
I mean, Advice era Taemin, really.
Oh my God, with the white pants.
The crop, the athletic.
Yes.
Girl.
But
Guilty really was the one because we got to see his midriff, his chesticles, his neck. A lot of his torso was seen, and we thank him for that as well.
And I feel like the attitude is different. For Advice, he was dreading what was to come, which is the enlistment.
Yeah.
He is now free, and it shows.
Yes.
100%. He is living his most authentic self, in my opinion.
100%.
Like publicly.
Yes.
As much as a K-pop idol can.
Agreed. Yes. And last but not least, Taeyang from SF9.
Always.
He also could have made the cut easily with the first 5. His proportions are also insane. He's very, very, very lean and yet very broad.
Yeah.
And the way he moves his body, girl, it's not good for me or my health, but also great for my health as well.
Yeah.
As a Taeyang bias, I wanted to honor him, and it's not an honorable mention. It's just he's in the cut. That's it. So anyway, with that said, we have 11 people that we talked about. I don't know who wins, like for sure. Like I think it's Shonu just because again he started everything. But do you have someone else that's coming for Shonu's gig?
You know I love Shonu.
Yeah. As your bias, yes.
And honestly, if we're going by proportion,
Hyungwon?
No, I feel like just Shonu because again, well, I bet fucking Mingi.
Yeah, the bias off.
No, Shonu he's more zaddy than Mingi.
Yeah. By the way, we're picking all these winners on the fly.
Yeah.
We decided not to put anything set in stone because it was really hard to choose. So we're just using the pressure of recording the episode as
Chaos.
fuel to make us decide on the winners. But you tell us who won these
Yeah.
categories for you. Leave a comment, answer polls, send us a DM, post a video letting us know. We're dying to hear your takes on our nominations. So
Yes.
please let us know what you think. And with that, I give the floor to the next category of awards to my dear co-host.
Our next category award is Award for Best Shaved Head. A moment of silence for all the army wives. Okay, that's enough. So our rubric is first, egghead or nah. This is an expose on which parents held their kids too much, which lay them on their backs, and which did it just right. Q got 7.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sorry.
2, how old do they look?
Mm,
Sometimes they look like 12-year-old boys.
yeah.
Sometimes they look like 30-year-old men.
Mm.
And it's all in the head. And number 3, manly score. Can they be the next spokesperson for Old Spice?
That is a great question. And we're here to answer it.
Let's start with our first nominee. Our first nominee is Jew Honey from Monster X. From Monster X. I said Monster. So, Jew Honey enlisted in July of this year, July 2023. He took a lot of pictures with his buzz cut.
Mhm.
He was a confident king regardless of his hair length.
Yes,
And we stand.
we do.
So, in terms of the rubric, shape, sunshine. He went into the military and made all those men do aegyo. He's perfect.
Yes,
Age, rated R.
all day.
Mm. Manly, I put the emoji with the cute little aegyo face
Like tearing up almost. Yeah.
because he is manly, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
King of Aegyo.
mm,
Yeah.
deli grade, yummy, yummy.
Deli deli. Deli, by the way, is not deli like deli meats. It's like
Oh.
delicious.
Right, right.
FYI.
Closing thoughts. He gave us one last thirst trap, and for that we thank him.
Sorry. Just did a military salute. I'm not qualified to do that, but I was really inspired.
In the picture, we have him doing like a pretty
Mirror
flirty
selfie. Yeah.
mirror selfie.
Yeah, it's like not quite boyfriend, but wants to be, or at least makes you think.
Oh, yeah.
It's that type of a
Oh,
selfie.
yeah.
Like when you're starting to get to know each other and you're like in the gym, that's the selfie.
That's why we chose it.
Mm.
Our next nominee is Minhyuk from Monster X. 2 monsters. And I wrote, I'll make a man out of you. Wow, I should not quit my daytime job. Minhyuk enlisted in April 2023.
Yes, he did.
When he left, he took a couple of pictures.
Yes.
But for the most part, he looked really, really, really sad.
Yeah.
He was not happy about shaving his head.
No.
However,
Mm.
as time progressed,
The tides
Minhyuk.
turned.
Oh my God, Minhyuk. In, I believe it was June of 2023, Hyungwon and Shonu did a show.
And that was all of Monsta X.
It was all of Monsta X, you're right, because it was
They're
before,
like last fan
right.
meetings. Yeah, before Giovanni enlisted.
Minhyuk was in the audience, and the Minhyuk we saw, my God.
Girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That shirt.
Oh, for those of you who have not seen it, it is him looking like a man with a knit type shirt.
And with like a V-neck zipper situation that is at the right place at the right time.
Just enough.
Just slutty enough, but also pretending not to be. Yeah. And the grip on the arms and the muscles that were built.
So with that, the rubric, shape, I put a little kissy face because that's what I would like to do. Age, NR17.
Isn't it NC-17?
Oh, it probably is.
Okay.
Pretend it says C.
Sure.
I'll fix it.
Love it.
It's for adults only.
Yes.
But more than rated R.
Mm.
Manly, I put the little strong arm.
Yeah.
Because truly, he really is showing us a different
He
version of
put the little
himself.
strong arms on.
The deli grade, it is top Korean Hanu
Mm-hmm.
beef grade, which is 1++A. And I would just like to say thank you, God, for military exercises and meal routines.
Mostly for the fact that they're eating 3 meals a day is what we're really
Yes.
thankful for.
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Because we also added another picture of him in his uniform where he looks, guys.
Laura hasn't been replaced since this picture was taken
I
and posted
really
online.
haven't. I wish I was because I should be, but I haven't.
If y'all didn't see, I think it was around like August or
Yeah.
September that Minhyuk and Jin Young and a bunch of other idols that I'm not really familiar with, but they all kind of participated in this musical display and they did Super Shy and other songs like both from Monsta X, GOT7 and other groups. Like I'm still going through that footage. Still reliving that day.
I'm never going to be okay.
Never gonna be the same.
He looked absolutely perfect with his shaved head, with his uniform, and his newfound body. Perfection. Let's move on.
Yeah, please. Before we get into any more.
Our next nominee is Jin Young from GOT7. With Jin Young, we all knew that he's a handsome man, regardless of the hair length. Matter of fact, he gave us a preview
Yeah.
last year for a role he did.
Yep.
And he looked great.
Mhm.
He did a Mary Claire editorial and he looked amazing. He enlisted in May of 2023 and he also did provide us with some pictures. The rubric shape, I put a little emoji with the ears because the buzz cut does highlight his really cute ears.
Adorable.
And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Age, PG-13. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
Manly, I put a little clock. That's at 24/7 because
Facts.
deli grade, A++. Plus 3 pluses.
3.
And in conclusion, we will forever be grateful that big ears are not demonized in South Korea.
Amen.
Also, he looks really good in the uniform. You should check him out. Our next nominee is RM from BTS. The reason why RM is nominated is because I think this is what went down in RM's head. A shaved head is another form of artistic expression. What's even the big deal? I think he probably said that sometime in his life.
Probably.
Because this man decided to give us shaved head months before he enlisted.
Since August.
And he gave us books
Yes.
with the shaved head.
Yes.
Editorials,
Mm-hmm.
events.
Yes.
And I will be forever thankful because he looks so good with a shaved head. Also, his head is really perfectly shaped.
Yes, it is.
So for the rubric, shape a blue ball. He did an editorial where he dyed his hair blue.
Yeah. Not because of blue balls or anything else.
No.
Not in this case.
Age. Adult. He has been telling us he's an adult.
Yes, he has.
Manly, I put a hole. You know. Deli grade, I put a plate with utensils because
Ready to eat.
and that's it. And our final nominee is Jungkook from BTS. Why? Because he decided to give us most of his head shaven looks, buzz cut looks, while completely topless, which I think takes the chapter 2 to the next level.
Agreed. V said that chapter 2 was not about taking their shirts off and all men do is lie.
Yep.
Like exhibit A,
We have
B,
proof.
and C. Yeah.
If you are not part of ARMY K-pop Twitter, then you should really check out and look for Jungkook buzz cut, Jungkook shaved head. Because we got, during a live they did earlier this month, all of the four
that were departing for military enlistment.
He had already shaved his head. And at that point, he, just as the life was ending, he took off his beanie and like ran through the camera.
In front of V.
And ARMY being ARMY took many screenshots. Which I thought was hilarious. Yeah. Also, his head is actually perfect. Yeah. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I shouldn't have expected anything less.
No, it's Jungkook.
So for the rubric, shape, I put an emoji that highlights the titties.
Yeah. Because that's exactly what he did.
Right. Age, I put the symbol for the incognito mode on Google Chrome. You know, in case you want to Google Jungkook buzz cut, Jungkook shaved head. Manly. I put a little emoji of like a person going like this
Some bodybuilding posing kind of thing.
because it's Jungkook. Deli grade, 100%. Let's get it, party, party, yeah. And with that, we have all of the nominees for Best Shaved Heads. Who do you think wins in your heart? I know it's very hard because it means that they're gone, but
The fact that, like, okay, the both Monsta X members are in my bias line. Jin Young is in my bias line.
That's
Both BTS members are in my bias line.
I'm sorry it came
This
for your
is
heart.
a direct, targeted hate crime against me. I don't know if I can choose. Like my heart of hearts wants to go somewhere like else just because I don't want to.
Relieve the pain.
Yes, I'm too attached here. Like you guys don't understand. I've been mentally unstable many days now. I mean, if I have to choose, I'm gonna go with Jungkook just because he is the one at fault for bringing me into BTS and the K-pop. I mean, you are the one at fault, but he was the one that I gave the chance to after I saw him smile. So,
For me, I have not been able to move past that Maniac picture.
yeah.
Like I actually have not been able to, and I
Yeah.
don't think I ever will.
It's like he found himself. Like and mind you, Minhyuk was not someone who was lost before.
He was not lost at all. He knew who he was.
This man has always known who he is, what he wants, where he is, what time it is, what he's going to eat. And somehow, some way, he got even more confident and give less fucks while enlisted. And it's a sight to see.
I can't move on. I will never move on, and I'm
No.
okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
And for that, he's a winner in my heart.
So for this next category, this is the award for fashion that had every stylist in a chokehold. This is one of the few categories of mixed genders. And this is something that I particularly focused on and hyperfixated on for no fucking good reason. But it was just really funny to me to see how some stylists really grabbed onto one piece and we all got tired of seeing the one outfit multiple times across the board. So the rubric for this category is number one, how many idols wore it? Maybe two idols wearing the same outfit is not, that crazy, but we still noticed. Three and up was a lot. Number two, how close in time was it worn? Because the less time between the fits were worn, the worse in one sense, because
I agree.
it's more memorable, like you just saw it. But also, if it's 1 year apart, it's like, are you even still in,
Right.
Number three, was it actually it? Because if every stylist said yes to the stress, then it better have been worth it. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
And the nominees are
I'm not sure how to pronounce the name of the designer, June J. It's a two U. Sounds like a Swedish kind of thing of maybe it has emphasis, and it reminded me of a couple of names from IKEA furniture. So June J, distress pants. Guys, picture this. Spring of 2023. 17 came out with Super. Bam Bam came out with, I forgot his song name. It's fine. True Honey came out with Lights. And well, in this case, it's 6 because there were 4 members in the 17 music video alone. And also in like one of their presentations in person, wearing these distressed pants that came out in June J's Spring 2023 Ready to Wear line. And these idol stylists were ready to make them wear them, okay? Mind you, the price of the pants in question, $1,900. If you are not watching this episode and I have to describe them to you, I would say imagine putting on a pair of black cargo pants and then grabbing a pair of jeans that are perfectly good, but cutting them right at the knees and putting them on top of the black cargo pants and then slicing them and making it look distressed. So Bam Bam actually wore them a little bit differently because he put some red under it. So it added like a little bit of specific detail for him. But everybody else wore it and styled it pretty similarly.
yeah.
So we have June, Mingyu, Hoshi, Jonghan, Bam Bam, and Juhani wearing the same pants. That's 6 idols. How long apart? It started in March of 2023 and it ended in May of 2023. So 2 months. The it factor, I put the melty face that is like not sure what to do with itself. I'm not sure. I honestly, From the moment I first saw these pants, I didn't know how to feel about them, and I still don't know how to feel about them.
I think I only like them on Mingyu because of the way that they styled him
Sure.
and because
Fair.
of his proportions.
Right. I liked it on June too. I think June's styling was good.
Okay, yeah.
But in
Mm.
general, there was another pair of pants that I don't know if they were in last year or the year before, but it was kind of a similar concept, but instead of shorts, it was like a full jean that was all distressed and you could see a full pant under it. I think PH1 wore it. And I was really into those. I don't like the shorts look. It's giving me Joe Dirt in some ways. And I think that's where I'm at, that
Yeah,
I'm like
I
stuck
can
and I
see
don't
that.
like it. Again, I think the stylists have a lot of creativity and direction and what they're like looking for, but it's also the fact that they were kind of worn pretty close
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
that every time I saw them, I was like, not these fucking pants again.
For me, I think the stylist may have missed a little bit of the mark in Bam Bam because he's so skinny.
Yeah.
It like gave him like this weird shape.
Yeah. And the jacket that like the crop that they put on
Yeah.
top of him is not really matching the vibe of the lower of the
Mm,
pants. So I agree with you that my least favorite of the six is Bam Bam styling.
yeah.
And I love Bam Bam with my whole ass. Like that
Who
it's
doesn't?
honestly. But yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. And so chokehold score, I didn't put an emoji because I wanted to decide on the spot. I think the chokehold score was pretty high
Yeah.
and I don't understand it. It's a lot of distress that got us stressed. That's that on that.
You should start your own poetry book. Like legit.
I'm going to use these as a launching pad for my career as a poet. Yes. So with that, we're gonna move on to the next nominee for fashion that had fashion stylists in K-pop and a chokehold. And we have two blue marine outfits that were hella similar, which were the cotton denim butterfly crop and the blue butterfly camisole. They're two different fits that are in the same family. Like they're definitely sisters. Might be twins, but fraternal.
Mm,
So this outfit was first seen in December of 2021,
that's insane.
which like the top and its variations have made the rounds like a hand-me-down in a family with all girls all through K-pop in 2021 and 2022 because then there was a second outfit that came in 2022 that was just like a little bit more expressive and that's the one that was making the rounds this year. So in May of 2022, Jenny posted on Instagram this picture of her in this top, which I think the picture is gone now. I don't remember why, but like I looked into this again. Been working on this presentation since July. I don't know what's going on anymore. But so Jenny posted this picture in May of 2022. Then Nayeon, for her solo debut with Pop, did one of her performance presentations wearing this butterfly top as well. Then in August of 2022, Soji from Red Velvet was photographed for a magazine wearing the same butterfly crop top. And then again, because there just wasn't enough butterflying for the designer or for people, they dropped a second version with a butterfly that was like with studs, I guess.
More bedazzled.
Bedazzled, but with like hardcore studs. And the pants also had studs. So it was like a whole look. And Kazuha from Le Seraphim wore it for the Unforgiven comeback when they were all dressed in denim for, yeah, very like the cowgirl look situation. And then Harvey from XG wore it in October while doing a challenge with NCT for like Instagram, TikTok, Reels, all those things. So, number of idols, 5. Time apart, 17 months. It's a long time to be with the fucking butterfly trend. You see? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's too close and if it's too long,
It's too
it's
much.
giving ick in some way or another.
Yeah.
The it factor, the butterfly, like I mean, I get it. It's a cute shape. The models that rocked it, especially the first one with the first fit, and Jenny in particular, I think they wore it right because the other idols wore it with like a tube top under
Right.
because they're, conservative and they don't want a boob to pop out during choreography. But it just didn't serve what it needed to serve because that's not what the bodice
Right.
was made for. It was made to be like a slutty Coachella
Right.
situation. So, whatever. And then I didn't like the new version of it that was made for this year. I actually like the first version a lot better because the one
I
from
agree.
this year looks more cartoonish and childish in a way.
Yeah.
So the other one was cooler for me. So chokehold score, very fucking high as well.
Yeah, 17 months, man.
17 months, 5 idols from 5 different groups.
5 different companies.
Yeah, 5 different companies.
Like
full-
the big four
full-
plus I forget what
Avex.
Avex.
Yeah.
Like from all ranges of
Yeah.
ages too.
Yeah, yeah. From very established idols to rookies. Like it was everything in between that you could have, we had. So final thoughts. Can we move on from this butterfly effect? Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Oh, and by the way, the cost of both outfits, one was 430, the other one was 536. So not too different in range for what we got. I think the studs made it more expensive for the other one. Makes sense. More work. And then for the next outfit that had fashion stylist and a chokehold this year, this is actually a shirt, and there are two different designers that dropped a similar shirt. So I'm putting them both in the same category because it was giving me the kind of the same vibe. So Diesel came out with a K Andelero or Candelero jumper, and Ferragamo came out with a denim print sweater. Like those are the respective names of the shirts. The shirts look like, imagine if the shirt was originally a color, a very bright color, and then they put it through like a tie-dye situation, and then they distressed it and put it on the sun with like bleach or something.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a lot of that going on. And so first, Hyunjin wore the Diesel version in January of 2023 when he did the challenge for Vibe with Taeyang and with Felix as well. Then Jeno was announced as a Ferragamo ambassador, and he wore the Ferragamo version of the shirt, which is red. The Diesel one is like neon green yellow.
Yeah.
Then in June, Mingi wore the Diesel one for their bouncy comeback in one of their stages. Then in June also, Sonu from The Boys went to the Ferragamo show. He was invited to the Ferragamo show in Korea and wore the red top that Jeno had worn in his spread
Campaign.
when he became an ambassador of Ferragamo. And then again, this is when like I saw it again and I was like, okay, this is a little
Too
too much.
much.
Jay Park wore it in November of 2023 to do one of his Y challenges, I think,
Yeah.
or he did a challenge for someone else, but it was around the Y drop. So the interesting thing is that the Ferragamo shirt, because it is Ferragamo, is a hefty price of $1,300, while the Diesel one is $350. So for the rubric, number of idols who wore it, 5, quite a bit. Time apart, I had put 6 months originally because I hadn't put Hyunjin in, but it's literally a year from January to November, so it's 11 months, which is not the worst on the scale here. It factor, I put like the wet, like the droplets of water. I'm not sure why I put that emoji. What I was
Because they
thinking.
fucking look good.
Well, yeah, I guess. All of them.
Are you kidding me?
I would say out of all the trends, like this is the one that I would say I understand why they put every idol in this shirt.
I remember Mingi in this shirt. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, Jeno, I want to buy Ferragamo now.
Yeah. I remember Sonu because
Oh,
Changbin went to that show.
he's so cute.
And there was a whole moment about that. So I remember when everybody wore the shirt,
Really?
apparently, because fucking made this category. So chokehold score, pretty high, but I understand. And yeah, I think honestly though, at this point the shirt is done just because the trend has been done enough that they're gonna be wanting to look for something else. So the dupes and don'ts of fashion said next. And then we have one last outfit that this one was worn within 1 week.
Yeah.
All 3 idols that wore it within 1 week of each other. So I can only imagine what the stylists were going through in the green rooms when they were seeing the other idol wearing the exact same dress that someone else had worn 2 days before. So Jaded London came out with the Chelsea denim kilt mini dress. And what are the chances that stylists in Korea for SM, Cube, and Hybe pick the same dress for idols to wear in the same week? And I guess it's many chances, like many chances. The cost of the dress is $105, which I think is also why it was a solid choice for everybody, because that's a very normal, like low investment really for a comeback season. So rubric, number of idols, we have 3 idols who wore it. We have Shuha from Idol. She wore it for the video of Queen Card, the music video. That's when she wore the dress, and that music video came out on May 15th. Then Sakura from the Seraphim, again with the same denim style that Kazuha had worn with the butterfly denim top and bottom. She wore it on May 18th for their stage. That's 3 days after the Shuha appearance on the music video for Queen Card. And then Winter from aespa wore it on May 21st. It was literally
That's kind
within
of embarrassing.
it's almost like showing up to prom with the same dress.
Yeah, because these were all pretty big drops for these artists.
Yep.
I get that in K-pop, a lot of the trends repeat,
Yeah.
like the cowboy,
Yeah.
the like space, the AI type of shit.
Yeah.
But like this is a bit much.
But this is also when you know that the stylist couldn't have known what was coming from like down the pike, because these outfits are chosen months in advance to fit the concepts. And they all just so happened to have found the dress, and they were like, guys,
This is
look
it.
at the find for $105. Look at what I'm bringing to the table. Look at the material.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, time apart, 6 days. It Factor, I put the emoji with the cowboy hat. Chokehold score, it's 3 idols, so it's not that many.
No.
But the chokehold element for me is in the styling of the dress, because there's not a lot that you can do with that dress. The dress is the whole statement.
It is, it is.
So yeah, I don't know.
I think Winter is the one that maybe changed it a little bit because
With
she's
the
using
scarf.
like a skinny
Yeah.
early 2000s
Yeah.
millennial scarf.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
PTSD.
Yeah, so we love a sisterhood of the traveling dress, I guess.
I guess we do.
I guess we do.
Hopefully it wasn't the same one.
I don't know if this is like a win or lose situation, but I guess we all both love the Diesel Ferragamo shirt. So there was an outfit that we wanted to see more, that we could see more idols rocking. It would probably be that one. Yeah.
Especially the red, because I love red.
Yeah.
Moving on. Our next category is Award for Most Educational Song. Our rubric is number 1, did they take us to school? Did they take us to elementary, middle, high school? Or is it college level? I'm getting my master's right now.
Damn.
2, should it be a CSAT band song? Ring ding dong. Better watch out. Or not. We'll see. And number 3, is it core curriculum? Did K-poppies need this lesson? And our first nominee is Mingi from ATEEZ and Bouncy. The educational lyric. He spells out his own name. SONGMING. I gonna know it's over. This was a little difficult because we first initially thought he forgot the I. Didn't.
I didn't think he forgot it. I thought he ate it. I was like, my guy, where the I at? Because even when he sings it, you don't hear it.
You don't. But in the lyrics, it's there. It's just the start of the next phrase, the next sentence.
Right.
Which honestly feels very college level.
Sure.
So it says, Englishy graduate and scholar in thirst, Mr. Song Min-gi, wanted to make sure we all knew how to spell his name with a little twist. The last I in Mingi is there if you really look.
You have to look and listen very, very closely.
Google him.
Yeah.
Rubric. Grade level, I put FSUs because it's college level.
Right. And it is Florida and it is trash. So
and also, I feel like Mingi would have gone to FSU.
Yeah, I think
it feels very him.
It does feel very him.
If you're from Florida, you know what we're talking about. Band? No.
No, I don't think.
The song maybe.
If Bouncy had come out closer to like the fall, I think it might have been considered one of the band songs for the CSAB, because it was just really good. Like I think that's one choreo I learned this year. I learned one choreo a year, and it was Bouncy. So we've had a lot of fun with that song, and I think it was one of the best comebacks this year.
Is it core rubric? No, because he just taught us his own name.
Yeah, but you do like the whole, like, this is my name, Simon D, Dominic.
I do. I do, but I'm thinking of K-pop as general. Educational score A+, because he did make us look for that last I.
I guess
like
made us work for it. Taught us a lesson that maybe the I was just the fun we had along the way.
Also, please look at our presentation. These slides took me a long time.
She worked very hard on
These particular ones took me a long time.
And they're very funny.
Our next nominee is Guilty, Taemin from Shining.
Yep.
The educational lyric. Ooh, ooh. You got...
Sorry.
Kathy's doing the dance.
Yeah. Correct.
You got me, Guilty.
Yes.
Temin had been taking English lessons, and his improvement is noticeable.
Yes, it is.
He returned to us this year and wanted to make sure we knew he was guilty of being K-pop's legendary imp. Rubric, grade level, I put a college diploma because you know what? He graduated in my eyes to another level, which I thought was literally impossible.
Honestly, professor of contology. It's not even graduation. Like he's teaching at this point. Let's be
Gee.
real.
Band, I put the little face, the tongue sticking out, crazy eyes, because that's how I felt.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting guilty to hit me like this, and now I'm just everywhere I go, Guilty.
And I feel like if it had come out, well, no, it came out in October.
No, I think it came out of the right season.
Band.
Yeah,
Core. Oh,
core curriculum.
I messed up.
Yeah, she put the AT Lightini.
That was supposed to be for the mangy
for the
slide.
baby slide. But
Sorry,
we'll
guys.
pretend the shower light stick is the one here.
Educational score, 100%.
That almost looks like a 200 to me, and I think it
Oh.
deserves it.
Up to interpretation. Let
Yeah.
us know what you think.
I think it also could say zoo, and yeah, that's how I
No.
feel inside.
It did have me feral.
Yeah.
Our next nominee is Lovely by Akmu. Educational lyric. I am not going to sing this.
So lovely, yes, so lovely. Earth Day with you, so lovely. Do, 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 do. Spell Lobele. Sorry, I really like this song.
So with this, Akmu used a little bit of creative license
Yeah.
and a little bit of wit
Yeah.
to slightly change the spelling of lovely
Right.
to Lovelee, as their last name is Lee.
Beautiful. So
Impressive.
Cute. So cute.
Rubric, grade level, I put Shakespeare.
Rivals.
I mean, honestly.
Rivals.
Band, I put a little heart emoji.
It got perfect all kills quite a bit.
Did,
Like
it
that.
did.
The song put Korea in a chokehold for sure.
If it had come a little bit later, I really do think it would have been in all the kids' heads.
Yeah, it would have been banned for the CSAT.
Core, no, because they really did take some creative license, you know?
Sure, sure.
You really shouldn't spell lovely like that. Not at school. You'll get in trouble. Educational score pass.
Yeah.
Because it's like art.
With flying colors.
Right. You can't actually give it a grade. You just know it passed because it made you feel things. And that's
Agreed.
what art is.
Agreed.
Our next nominee is Kiss by NCT Dojang Jong. Let me tell you. Let me calm down. The educational lyric is URLIPS, your lips. Damn it. So good. So with this drop, NCT showed us a different side of themselves.
Yes, they did.
With this subunit, they came for us and our panties with their debut perfume. Again, you should not spell your
As you are.
as you are.
Hmm.
And for that, I gave it a grade level of that millennial middle school S that we all did because it reminded me of middle school.
Yeah, yeah.
When
I
it was
get
cool
it.
to say you are instead of your.
Yeah,
that kind of
especially when we
stuff.
had like the Motorola
Right.
razors and we had to type with just the phone keys, and
Right.
you had to shorten
Right.
because we didn't have all the keys.
Right. And that's why I gave it that grade.
I
It just
feel that.
took me back. Band, I put a little Kiss. I don't think it would be banned, but core, no, because again, this is not what you should do because you shouldn't spell your as you are.
No, you shouldn't.
And also it's 2 words and there's no like space in there. As for the educational score, I just put the little emoji with the sunglasses because it's just cool to spell your as in you are.
Sure.
But it's not really.
Not too cool for school, just cool, period.
Right.
Yeah, I feel that.
And that's why that's the grade. Our last nominee, we have Jungkook's 7.
Jungkook and Taemin are taking these awards by storm.
I mean, is it?
It's not wrong. If this is wrong, I don't want to be right.
I really don't.
I'm just saying. I just wanted to highlight the fact that we
It's
keep
true.
seeing them, and I think the Magne on top very much canon.
Agreed.
Mm.
Educational lyric. He said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 days a week. Jungkook graduated from the Kim Namjoon English School. He wanted to flex his English skills
Yeah.
and not only gave us one wholly English song, but a whole album.
Remember back in the day when he didn't know what June or July was, and now he's out here teaching us the days of the week? how far we've come.
My heart. Rubric. Grade level. I put Rebecca Black because it's been 12 years since Friday.
came out.
And we needed this. We
Damn.
needed this refresher. I put band, just a calendar, because it's not. This is actually helpful for English tests.
Yes.
You will know the days of the week. And core, I put army because it is. Educational score, it's not just good for Korean students taking English test in Korea. It's good for everyone.
Yeah.
Sometimes people forget and they call for work questions on a Saturday. What is that?
No. He's an international playboy. He's fucking around 7 days a week. Don't bother.
And with that, who is your winner, Kath?
It's a stiff competition between the Magnes for me.
Ooh.
Because Guilty did what you know it did to me. I didn't necessarily need to remember what the days of the week were, but I did need to remember how to spell guilty. So I would say maybe Temin is like by a millionth of a second.
Okay.
When they do those swimming
Of
competition
course,
and the
of course.
Omega watches situation, yeah.
Okay.
By a little bit, I think Temin raised it out.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah.
For me, I am gonna go with Kiss. Here's why. Because I love that song.
Yeah. She loved that entire album, that entire comeback season.
Also, funny story, TMI. I didn't realize they were spelling URPS until much later. So it was like
This is a normal
a
occurrence.
surprise for me.
She doesn't hear lyrics or she hears it, but it doesn't really like sink in. And then months later, she'll be like, "Did you know?" And it's like, "Yeah, where were you?" That's just,
But once I noticed,
But when she knows,
then
you'll forget.
No, I would spell it out with them every single time. In my car, I would scream out, URLIPS, your lips.
Respect. With that, we are going to another, I guess, favorite category for me. If you didn't listen to our episode about SM Entertainment this year, back in season 3, this is probably going to give you a brief summary of the fuckery that we covered during that episode, because that was almost 2 hours worth of tea, more tea, and then some more tea on top.
Yeah.
So not that the SM is the only people that we're talking about in this section, but they are a big part of it. So this is the award for biggest company fuck-ups and scandals. Who needs K-dramas when the entire K-pop entertainment industry is a giant dumpster fire? Just kidding. I know you guys live off of the tepid kisses on episode 10, but I personally get my serotonin from the agency drama rama. Okay? And by the way, I didn't mean to come for the K-drama girlies. I'm just being...
Yeah, you did a little bit.
Just a little bit. So
nicely.
The rubric for this category is number 1, how long did it stay on the timeline? These days, thanks to the 24-hour news cycle, most scandals are forgotten within a day.
That's
true. Longer reign means the tea was steeped, okay? Number 2, did the fans add fuel to the fire? We know fans sometimes go a little too ham with their delulu, but every once in a while, their involvement or rage just makes sense. And number 3, did any idol speak up or throw shade? Because gasp, the unthinkable. An idol speaking their minds against a company, call 911 immediately. Alert the police. So the first nominee for biggest company fuck up and scandal is SM Entertainment in their Kakao versus Hybe acquisition dumpster fire like mess of a situation that, spoiler alert, is still going on and will continue to go on for a little further, at least. So I'm not going to go into all the details because it's too messy, but basically SM CEO at the time, Chris Lee, was working some dirty deals with Kakao, decided to sell them some shares, which didn't exist. And that was against the bylaws of the company because he's a fucking dumbass. And his uncle was like, bitch, you can't do that. So he filed an injunction against the company for doing illegal things according to the bylaws. And then Isuman, who had basically vowed to never work with Hybe because at some point Hybe did offer to buy SM shares and he was like adamantly against it. He, with all this fuckery going on with Kakao, he called up Bang PD and said, do you want my shares? And do you want to be a majority shareholder of SM Entertainment? This was huge. This was in February of this year. And this is kind of what started a just fuckery round for SM, because the months to come after that were nonstop
Oh
scandal
my
after scandal after
God.
scandal. Long story short, Cacao has a lot more money than Hybe ever will, because they're as a conglomerate and all their subdivisions and umbrella companies that they have and subsidiaries, they just have a
Yeah.
dominion of like communication and a lot of other things in South Korea. And they already have money in their entertainment industry
Yeah.
with other idol companies and agencies. So Cacao said, hissing contest, mine's bigger. And Hybe at some point was like, you know what? We're gonna bow out of this competition. I'll sell you some of the shares that we had, so we're not a majority shareholder anymore. Give us a technology component because we want to own the communication and the fan experience. And we'll just keep a seat at the table, but we're not gonna bother you being like the top dog. So that's kind of how all that evolved. But in terms of the rubric, the 24-hour news cycle, this shit, I'm telling you, from February right now in November, December, they just started the trial of cacao executives that allegedly inflated SM share prices to make the sale appear bigger. And it's just fuckery. It's the only word to describe this.
If we know anything about anything, we'll talk at the end of this trial.
Yeah.
And we'll be mad.
It's a lot. And, you know, Izuman has already been chased by Interpol. He's already been the embezzlement king of the world. So this is probably just child's play to him. Like, it's just a regular Tuesday up in there. But whatever. So again, the 24-hour, I put the monkey emoji with like covering his mouth because, you know, the shookiness of it all. Shooky cookie.
Really, really is
from February until now. Crazy. Fans, I put the truck emoji for the protest trucks because SM fans sent protest trucks to Hive to as like a cease and desist of like the acquisition situation, which is so fucking stupid.
So stupid.
But in general, fans were very, very involved, and a lot of people were throwing around the world monopoly. Again, like Cacao doesn't already have a monopoly on the situation. And I think a lot of people were speaking out of turn and saying shit that they didn't know what they were talking about, which is the usual in the internet. But yeah, fans very involved. Idols that mentioned it. I put the key emoji for my God, Lord, and Savior, King Kibum from Shiny, because he made a snide little remark because the fans were asking for him to do encore concerts or to do more like shows. And he said, I'm dying to, but the company's a little distracted right now. And that's all he needed to say to spill the tea and show his stance on the situation. He said SM is fucking around finding out, but not trying to make money with me. So that was the thing. So anyway, my king Kiboom, love him to pieces, everything. And I love that for him because he truly is a fucking king.
He really is.
In the you done fucked up conclusion of it all, I put a lot of zeros next to it, like a one with a bunch of zeros after, because there's no percentage that can truly cover the extent to which SM and Cacao fucked up with this in terms of the inflation of the numbers and the stocks. I don't know. This scandal was too much. And Laura's dying. I don't know what I did right, but I'm happy that it's happening. Oh, because the lot of zeros I imported.
Cacao inflated, but so did
I guess. And then for the conclusion, could they be any dumber? Shout out to Chandler, our good Matthew Perry. And just as a reference for anybody not watching, the picture here is Isuman looking so fucking evil and like he's plotting his next move. Moving on. The next scandal, surprise, surprise, is also SM dropping the ball, fumbling the bag with Kai's enlistment. You know you fucked up hard when the Korean government takes the time to call out your lies. Like the Korean public is so against a lot of the things that the Korean government does. And the Korean government doesn't have time to come out and clarify and like clean their image about all these things. But they took the time to come out and say, you're lying. And that's when you know. So long story short, most of the idols born in 93, 94 kind of overdue for enlisted this year. And Kai was supposed to go at some point. But basically, there have been a lot of accusations about idols that were trying to not serve. And because of that, they basically like closed in on the ranks and were like, we're not going to let anybody else slide through and fuck around. So they were like, I think from what I read, and I don't know if this is true. Well, so this is the facts. Every man in South Korea, not just idols, this is a permission for everybody, can file for an extension so that they can enlist later up to 5 times. And it seems like the information is different depending on where you read it. So it's like somewhere on Reddit, I read that Kai had only filed for an extension 3 times. But that because of all the shit going on with idols like Ravi and stuff like that, his extension request was rejected.
Oh.
And they were like, you have to enlist by, I don't remember the exact date, but I know that it was like 11 days after when he found out he had to enlist. So I blame this on SM because we know that the idols are not really in charge of their lives or their schedules or anything. The company should be managing these things. And the fact that this only happened to Kai when Sehun is only 3 months younger than him.
Yeah.
And there were so many other idols that were just kind of.
Kihun didn't enlist until around the same time, and
Kihyun. Kihyun from
and he's a 93.
Yeah, and Suga had his own extension, so but yeah,
Yeah, it's
there were
different.
a couple of 93s that waited a little bit longer. But yeah, with Kai, the situation was just heavily mishandled. There were other idols that also were kind of forced to enlist sooner than they planned to, including Mino from Winner and Yoon from Winner. And it was a very messy situation this year because like everyone was trying to do damage control on their image, and every idol that was trying to take advantage of them and the system of the extensions, they were like, fuck you, and you too. But Kai was the most prominent one out of all of them. And his was kind of, again, really fucked because he had to leave within 11 days of just finding out that he had to enlist. And he was working on a comeback with EXO. He was working on a comeback with Super M. There were a lot of projects down the pike for him, and he had to basically disappear from the comeback because he wasn't allowed to do anything. And again, this is why I think SM is to blame. Kai literally put SM between a rock and a hard place because he wanted to host a fan meeting before leaving, and that fan meeting was completely free. SM was forced to find an auditorium big enough to hold at least a few hundred EXOs and host the fan meeting completely for free so he could say bye to the fans. And that's what tells me that this is on SM. And it's not like because they're not gonna be nice to Kai just for being nice to Kai. That shit takes money to produce an event like that, especially on such short notice. And everything. So anyway, the rubric 24-hour. I put the peach emoji because peaches. Do I need to say anything else? Album of the fucking year for me. So it's 2023. That album came out 2 years ago, and I'm still reeling. So the scandal didn't really last in the news as long as I would have liked it to. And I want to take a moment here. I'm gonna get on my soapbox, and I'm gonna be completely serious here. I am a very hardcore army. My alt is Suga. And I saw a lot of conversations recently on Twitter about Kai specifically, where a lot of armies who don't know him were calling him arrogant and were blaming him or accusing him of crying when he like found out that he had to enlist, and they were saying he was trying to avoid enlisting, and they threw around a lot of words that are not true. Like, as someone who is both sugar bias and Kai bias, I just want to say, I think we all need to do a little bit better. I know that Army is very hurt because at some point in the fight, when BTS was surpassing EXO, EXOs were some EXOs, not all, some EXOs were very vicious towards Army. And so I don't think we need to repay the favor by behaving in the same way. Kai is a human. Kai is friends with Jimin. Kai did not deserve the way that things happened to him. Nobody would want to leave within 11 days of being told that you have to enlist.
It's a big deal.
He's not trying to avoid. He wanted an extension just like any other man could file for it to participate in his group's comeback because it was one of the last times that they were all going to be together.
And aside from just being an idol, imagine you're told you have 11 days to pack up your shit, and we're gonna send you off to God knows where.
Oh, and so the reason why a lot of armies were like dragged him into the conversation because he wasn't even part of it was because I guess somebody tweeted that they missed Suga. They hadn't seen him. Thankfully, we saw him now with the enlistment pictures of RMB, Jimin, and Jungkook. But Suga hasn't been seen since he enlisted in September. And armies were saying that they missed him and that they wish that, we could
Yeah.
see him. And some people said, well, because he's doing social work and social service, it might be misconstrued if he's seen like out and about
Right.
enjoying himself with people or going to things. So he's keeping a low profile because he is Suga of BTS. Like he
Right.
can't do what other idols do.
Right.
And they were like, well, Kai, or they didn't even name him, but it was about him. It was like that boy from EXO, and he was being arrogant, and he's always at some concert or whatever. Like Kai's not posting pictures of himself at the
No.
concerts. Like people are posting pictures of him. I'm sure Suga's doing some things here and there, and
Yeah.
he's just being more private about it. Like
'Cause from what we understand, when you're a social worker, it's a normal 9 to 5.
Yeah. Suga's choosing to stay out of the public eye because he knows that he's the only member of BTS that is not doing active
Yeah.
soldier duty because of the shoulder injury that he had. And so he doesn't want to bring any attention to himself that could cause any harm to the group. And that's his choice.
Right. But neither is Kai. He's not posting anything himself.
Right. Most of the things that were posted about him attending a concert or whatever was posted by fans. Concerts usually happen over the weekend. Like, let him live. Like, again, it's just, I understand that armies are still reeling from the attacks of the EXOs that decided to attack armies. And it was a really difficult time in 2018, 2015, 2017. I get that. But I don't think we have to carry that same energy into this situation because Kai didn't come for the BTS members. Kai hasn't said anything about them. He's not an arrogant person. He is confident, which is wonderful.
You
So
need
is
to be.
Suga. So are all the members of BTS. So again, I really wanted to put this out there because I think we need to do better. Fan wars on Twitter are ridiculous.
So stupid.
So meaningless. And, all of us need to spend our time and energy more wisely. So
Yeah.
we can point our anger towards the companies, towards the mistreatment of idols, towards the promotion schedules that are insane. We can really focus on making the world a better place. We won't do that by piling
Yeah.
onto idols for wanting to fulfill their duties before having to serve their country and go away for
Yeah.
2 years. Because Kai also has a shit ton of body injuries, herniated disc and stuff from his dancing.
Yeah.
So it's really unfair to call him out on not doing active duty service
When he's broken.
when he's literally broken.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want us all to like do better. So I hope that my message came across as intended, which is just a call to chill for everybody.
Chill the fuck
And
out.
be kind because you don't know we don't know these idols. We don't know Suga. We don't know Kai. We don't know what they've gone through. And I think it's important to respect people that are
Yeah.
just like doing their best.
Just be a nice person.
Exactly. So I don't know what emoji I used for the fans, but it didn't convert into the
I
presentation.
didn't.
I think I probably put something about the phone or like being too much because they were like just
Yeah.
tweeting too much, like I said recently. And as far as idols, I just put the bear emoji because that's
No,
Kai's emoji, so it broke
so
my little
cute.
heart. And for you done fucked up, I put a clown emoji for SM because they did.
Clowns.
So SM is the real Unforgiven.
100%.
Period. Next scandal. Guess what? SM again. Damn Daniel back at it with the white vans. So this scandal literally took me out fully when we did the SM episode. And I told Laura, I was like, I'm not gonna read it line by line. I read it line by line. I took 16 full minutes of that episode to
It was
fucking talk about this
amazing.
because it was the most perfect situation where I've seen that the fans are rightfully outraged
Right.
and then take action, and they got the company to literally fold. They left them with no choice, and I live. Basically, Shiny turned 15 this year, which is a huge accomplishment for any group. Huge, 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 especially after all they've been through. SM booked the like jankiest location for their fan meeting, right? For 5,000 people, flat on the ground, with blocked views, and you wouldn't be able to know whether your view was blocked or not when you bought the ticket. Shiny, listen, in Asia, Shiny can outsell. Like,
Yeah, 5,000
5,000
seats.
seats is not for a 15th anniversary. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's probably just enough for their family.
Right. So one thing led to another. The fans banded together. They created Twitter accounts. They sent protest trucks for the right fucking reason for once. And like literally by saying, we demand that by this date you do this, or else, like they literally threatened to boycott the event, not buy the Beyond Live version. And by doing all of that, they even called venues to make sure that they were available on certain dates so that Shiny could hold their event in like a bigger venue for more fans to attend. Showels do not fuck around, and they did not play when it came to this specific scandal. So at the end of it, SM ended up booking the venue for 2 days, okay? Not just one. So like that's like 4 times what the original capacity was for. And Showels won because it. So the picture on the screen, if you're watching, is literally the memorandum that the fandom posted to Twitter demanding for things to go down a certain way with like the specific demands that they had, including that they requested an apology from SM for their fuck shit, right? So anyway, rubric, the 24-hour, I put a little clock to signify that Shaul said this ends when we say it ends, okay? The news cycle caught wind of it and it was over for SM, so period. Fans, diamond emoji because Shaul's are a fucking gem and that's their sign. And I'm so proud to be part of this fandom. Y'all don't get it. Idols, I put Key and this meme of him rolling his eyes because, and I said it in the episode of the SM takedown that we did, Key and Jonghyun did not raise no bitches, okay? They were so proud of us. And even though they didn't speak up, they didn't have to. We just know that behind the scenes, Key was giving every dirty look to the staff possible. And I live for that, okay? In the you done fucked up conclusion, I put the trash emoji because SM is pure trash in terms of what they did with Shiny here. And final words, the new flop Tina, because I think I'm Trixie Mattel and I can use that kind of vocab, but girl, just the length that they went to fuck up are truly, truly ridiculous. Yeah. And then next, guess what? Betsy? SM at it again. So EXO, which we were just talking about, they have a subunit called CBX, which is made up of Chen, Baekhyun, and Schumann, which are the vocalist line to end all vocalist line. I mean, there's 2 more members on the vocal line for EXO, but I'm just saying like that subunit is truly out of this world. Like their vocal capabilities are just next level. And so as EXO is recording their music video and gearing up for their comeback and losing Kai, and SM is just in the midst of all the messes you could possibly be in the midst of, CVX decided to sue SM because they weren't shown their contracts appropriately and their compensation. And SM was trying to be like, we can show it to you, but like in the office, we can't give it to you for you to go show your lawyer or your accountant anything. And CVX said, no. So there was a lot of rumors about like another company being behind this and just a bunch of shit that happened. And at the end, unfortunately, I think
Yes.
the 24-hour emoji that I use, I put the zipper on the mouth because I think at the end CBX was basically muzzled.
Yeah.
They were paid to shut up. And I get it, and I'm glad in a way because obviously this kept the group together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we know now, like hindsight is 2020 from recent events, that what ended up happening was that SM told EXO members that if they wanted to leave the company to do their solo activities, they had to create their own company in order to be able to do that. They couldn't go to another existing agency, which is so fucked in so many levels.
It is.
But you know what the EXO member said? Bet.
Bet.
Because all of them have started popping up with their own agencies and doing their thing, and I'm so proud of them. And SM can suck a dick.
That's it.
For the
That's
fans,
it.
for the fans reaction, I put a popcorn.
We were
because
literally on the edge of our seat.
the way that our text and like Twitter was up in flames, like every second another piece of news was coming out. For those few days, it was crazy up in like Stan Twitter and Exoland. So yeah, idols. I use the emoji of a father with 2 children because even Chen, who has absolutely no fucking leverage, bro, against SM, because again, he's a father of 2, married, and that's not idol behavior. He went in because, he had Baekhyun and Schumann to like back him up. So even he was like, SM, no,
Peace.
you done fucked up. For the you done fucked up emoji, I put the medical service because somebody has to come revive SM after what they've been through. And I don't really like particularly care, TBH, like whatever. And final conclusion, you don't mess with Yeon Baekhyun. Like you just don't. I don't know what else to say. That's it. Period.
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 Period. I love him.
Yeah. And that is the final round of SM scandals. I did have to put all four here. Do you blame me? Do you get
No.
it? Okay.
Yeah, of
So then we
course.
have one more scandal that we're gonna get into, which is attract. Listen, I went into very, very big detail here. A lot of people on social media, TikTok, Twitter, were defending the members of 50/50 for a long time. And, we don't know the truth still to this
Of
day. We
course.
don't, there's their truth, the giver's truth, attracts truth, fucking Comcast truth. And then there's the actual truth of what happened. But it does seem from now, whatever has come up since we first talked about this, that the members did lie to try to get out of the contract because the givers, Shion, fucking the devil, basically persuaded them to do so that they could get out of their contract and he could get all the money, which is very fucked and it's very unfortunate because the girls were clearly very talented and they worked towards this. But now 50/50 has gone from being a four-member group that was going to take over the world, and now they're down to one member with their reputation so tarnished that
Yeah.
Korean fans want nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with them. They could have done so much with the Barbie movie,
Yeah.
with deals that were coming at them.
Yeah.
It was said that New Jeans money was being offered to them, which is a huge deal. And they lost everything because of Shion / the givers' greed and wanting to control everything. And the reason why I was always adamant and firm on the fact that Shion and the givers were not to be trusted is because they took the 6.5% that was credited to Kina for songwriting on Cupid and they dropped it down to 0.5%.
That's crazy.
And that's just not right. If you're looking out for the members, you wouldn't have taken her credit away.
That's true.
And that's
a
what
good point.
always told me that
is a good
he
point.
was not good and that the girls were probably being gaslit.
Wow, that is a good point.
I always, always, always felt that way. And I am not saying that the Attract CEO is a saint because I don't think anyone who has an entertainment agency is a good person in general. Like mostly, like they want money.
Right.
They want to monetize people. They want to sell people really because that's K-pop as a product.
Right.
So it's not that I'm defending the Attract CEO, but really the true trash here was Shion and the givers. So rubric, the 24-hour news cycle, I put the circus tent emoji because it was a fucking circus.
Yeah.
When we did the episode on Attract, literally it was day by day.
Yeah, it was insane.
2 to 3 pieces of news was coming out about the scandal, and it was just getting messier and messier until they went to trial, until things were said, and it was just a lot. So whatever. The fans, I put the emoji of the girl with the X, like doing the X hands of like saying, I don't want this, which is in reference to the fans very vocally saying they were done with 50/50 and they didn't want them because they were not a grateful group. And in Korea, those principles are very important. So the fans definitely spoke up about that. And for the idols, I put the emoji with like the grown nose from lying because they lied.
Yeah.
It's been proven at this point. And for the you done fucked up, I put the football because they fumbled the ball in terms of what they were, the Attract mismanagement was just it was just too much. Like Attract basically shouldn't have trusted the givers to the extent that they did. They should have gotten more involved. They shouldn't have taken their word for it. They should have been a part of the member management a lot more so that the girls could have trusted them and not turned their backs on them the way that they did. And for the final conclusion, I'm feeling lonely. Sorry. I put a picture of Kina by herself because the 50/50 posts recently have just been of her and it's just so awkward. It seems from what they've said that Attract is looking for other members to like rebuild 50/50. I think they should trash that name.
Yeah, they should.
And like start anew. But I do understand that they just want the credibility, especially abroad because people are not that involved. But it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So with that, we have one more slide. And these are the honorable mentions of the scandals that are not that big. They're not quite scandals, but they're definitely qualified to be filed under fuck ups. I don't know what these companies, agencies, events, or whatever were thinking in terms of management, but here we are. The first honorable mention is 2023 Mama. Their fuck up is that they did not nominate RM's Indigo a single time for an award. Like EXO's and Tumi's were screaming on Twitter for days about Mama's biggest steal when EXO and Treasure were snubbed. But the fact that RM's Indigo did not even get a nomination is the single biggest atrocity that they have committed in recent time.
I agree.
Period.
Yeah, like there's like what
That album is so good. It's such a work of art. It's so diverse. It's so cohesive.
it's so
It's
thought out. Like
so well done.
yeah,
And every single other BTS member got a nomination, and it just feels like a slap in the face to our. It
literally,
feels like the industry is like, we don't want you. And so
literally.
I don't understand. So 2023 Mama, y'all fucked up. The next fuck up is who let JYP on stage at the Blue Dragon Film Awards? Who? Because sweet dreams are made of whatever makes Mr. JY Park stop performing. Okay? So I need to repeat that because I don't know who keeps letting him be on stage. They need to be stopped. I'd love to share 1% of his delusional confidence. Just 1%. I swear I'd be a different person. But I think that even 1% might be too much of his particular brand of confidence. Because who watched that rehearsal and let him on stage to do the actual show?
I don't like I genuinely don't know how to answer that because to me it just seems like somebody might have said something, but him in his delusion was like, no, you're wrong and I'm right.
This man cannot sing, as proven by also his performances here in the US when he came on
Yeah.
tour to LA and New York and had to give away seats for free on Groupon and whatever just to fill the venue. And in his performance, clearly, because if you hear him singing or no, like he couldn't have fallen flatter.
Have you seen his like revenge performance
No.
he did recently to like prove that he's a better artist than whatever that was at the Blue
I
Dragon?
mean, that was like less than a month ago.
I
So
know, I know, I know.
he can do whatever revenge he wants to do. Like the
It's
mics were on,
no,
unfortunately.
it's not good. Like it's the revenge is not
Not revenging.
revenging.
Yeah. The only good thing that came out of this that we had to put ourselves through was all the idols and their expressions, DO's expressions. What like
Right.
but you know what? I feel terrible because the fact that someone as talented as Dio had to sit through
Ooh,
that
ooh,
and
ooh.
like pretend that that's an acceptable thing to see on stage.
All of them put their actor chops to work.
No, they didn't. They weren't able to.
You know,
Their facial expressions, they couldn't help themselves.
it could have been worse.
Sure, sure. I mean, they held back for sure. They held back, but it was that bad that
Yeah,
they
it
really
was
couldn't.
terrible.
It was nothing that they could hide. Like I lived for the footage. Like I'm not someone who likes cringe, honestly, but I did live for the footage
It
of
was
people's
great.
faces because at least I know that I'm not crazy and that there's like a common understanding that he's the one who's out of pocket here.
Yep.
Anyway, the last honorable mention on the company fuck up situation is Baby Monster's debut. So
Oh god.
they were supposed to debut around like September, and then
Yeah.
it was announced that their debut was delayed until November. And so, putting aside the fact that I'm morally conflicted on even supporting anything that YG touches, because I watched the show, I got attached to the girls, and I was really on board with like supporting them. But then I realized that like it just didn't make sense because that man is the worst.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to support and give any views or anything to
To him.
anything that he does.
That's true.
So that's one thing, but I'm putting that aside. The fact that the Baby Monster debut was delayed clearly because the Blackpink contract negotiations still hadn't been resolved is
Yeah.
mind blowing to me because first of all, you're trying to create another Blackpink, right? And
Literally.
like you're literally just with 7 members, or I mean, for now 6, I guess, because we have to see if Ion is actually returning or not. But you're trying to create another Blackpink. You go from September to December, November, which is a busy season where people are spending a lot of money. Even though the group actually achieved some stuff on Billboard, their numbers on sales in Korea
Not good.
flopped. YG shares dropped for 7 days consecutively because of Baby Monster's flop, basically. I didn't really care for the song to BH. Like
No.
it just wasn't for me. Even in the middle of my girl group era and loving them and like wanting them to succeed despite the fact that they are built by YG, I just didn't feel like it was that song. And it's just this goes back to YG's single formulaic production method. And
Yeah.
even though Hyun Suk from Treasure was involved and whatever, it just didn't hit
No.
personally. So It wasn't a strong debut for all the promotion that they did for this group. The
agreed.
girls had amassed quite a bit of a following based on like the group and stuff. They beat a record of like fastest music video to reach 50 million views. I have my doubts. I think YG farms views and other things. Like we've seen way too much about how YG conducts his business. So we know that they're capable of doing anything to make themselves look better than what they're actually doing. And so I think that's what's happening with Baby Monster. We'll see. Blackpink now has allegedly decided to sign back with YG. I don't understand why.
Me neither.
I don't understand why.
That was not in my bingo card.
We'll talk about Blackpink. We promised to talk about them this season. We were waiting for the contract negotiations to be finalized. And now that they have, we will do our episode on Blackpink and we'll explore a little bit more of what we're saying. But confusion. I'm confusion. And so, the delay, and then Ahyun ended up getting sick or something, and her absence announcement was so poorly written that it basically sounded like she had left the group.
Yeah.
And then they had to clarify, no, she didn't leave the group. We're just gonna debut with 6 girls, and then she's gonna come back later. It's just all a mess.
Weird.
It was done in the worst way possible, and to do that, you might as well just have deleted it again.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck was the point?
Agreed.
So anyway, those are all the biggest fuck ups of the year. And do you have a winner in mind that you think is the worst?
In terms of coolness, Shaol's big fuck you to SM
Right.
would win. In terms of biggest fuck up, there were just
so many.
So many.
So many. Yeah.
SM wins.
Yeah. Funny enough, even though this was my tirade against SM, I'm gonna say Attract is probably the biggest.
You're right.
The biggest fuck up because they had everything to win.
Yeah.
And to do something with themselves, and they fumbled the bag so hard. Yeah. So to me, the biggest company fuck up of the year is Attract.
You're right. Moving on, award for best innuendo. The presentation says that
side by she. That's hard to bring across.
You have to see it. It's
yeah.
really funny.
Yeah.
So the rubric for award for best innuendos is number 1, cringe level. A well-done innuendo should make us giggle and smile.
Facts.
When done incorrectly, it'll make you cringe.
Facts too.
Number 2, is it punny? Puns are always sexy, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And number 3, did it make us blush?
See?
Some are so unexpected, they made us blush. Our first nominee is... You guys really need to see the presentation.
Yeah, you do.
So the first nominee is Champagne Confetti, as heard in 3D by Jungkook. The meaning of it, Google it. Yeah. I'm not here to tell you things. Yeah. He wanted us all to know he's a grown-ass man. You know what I mean?
Chapter 2, baby.
So for the rubric, is it cringe? No.
No, it's not.
But I put a little...
Okay hand.
Think about it. Think about it. Punny? Not really. Blush? Tomato.
Yeah. We didn't know what champagne confetti was before Jungkook said it, so.
That's what she said? Yes.
Check mark.
Our second nominee is Cream Soda by EXO.
Not just the lyric, but the name of the song.
I put, hey Bixby, are cream sodas gluten-free?
The way you came for me. So guys, I guess it's like breaking news to you guys. In October of this year, I was diagnosed as celiac, and I have been following a gluten-free diet to try to recover from the mess that was my life. And Laura is deciding to attack me specifically with this.
No, we need to know if they're... I'm sorry.
Yeah, what was the reason? I have to scream like Cardi B. What was the reason?
For the meaning? Again, fucking Google it. I will not be saying it.
A little similar to what we already experienced with Jungkook.
Yes. So for the rubric cringe, not at all.
No.
Punny? Not a pun.
No.
Blush?
Yeah,
a little
sure.
bit.
Sure.
They looked really good in the music video.
Yeah.
That's what she said. I just put a cream soda because for those of you not watching, the presentation has like a little sign-off sheet visual where like it has like the lyric, the artist, the meaning actually spelled out. Some of them are censored.
Yeah.
And then like a little proof stamped with a signature. Next nominee, Talk Sexy by Rice. They debuted, and by they, we mean SM, debuted a group of adults for this song and this song only. I feel like when they were signing off song names, somebody wrote LOL. Saxy sounds like sexy. LOL.
I
It's
don't
not.
know. I've never gone it. I don't think I'll ever
It's
get
not. It's not. Let's go for the rubric.
Sure.
Cringe. It's cute. It's whatever.
it. I don't get it.
Punny. It's punny. Sexy. Sexy. Cute. Blush. I put ice cubes because
No, not blushing.
it's
Rah, pa,
cute.
pa, pa, when you call my name.
The,
Dog sexy. No.
the whole song is, it has a double meaning, but it's just cute. That's what she said. Would never.
No, she never said that.
Never. Fourth nominee? Icky. Card. The whole song is an innuendo. Most memorable lyric. BM said she want more than a tip. I ain't talking about guidance. Rubric. Cringe? No. As a song, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Punny? I don't know. Is it punny?
No.
Blush? Red dot. It was cute when it came
Sure, the
out.
first time I heard it, I was
It
like,
was cute
ooh.
when it came out.
Sure.
That's what she said. I put Michael Scott because I feel like he would say that.
Yeah.
And he would laugh about it
Yeah.
and think it was very clever.
Yes, he would.
Meaning, if you know, you know. Our final contestant is Bouncy by ATs. So for this one, even though it's not really confirmed by ATs, here at MIA2K, we like to believe this is canon.
Fact.
And pretty much, again, the whole song is an innuendo.
Right.
The most memorable lyric, I'm not going to try to read it. It's in Korean, but basically translated, it says, a different kind of spicy Chongyang chili pepper vibe. Basically, gochu, which means chili pepper, is also used as a slang word for
Penis.
rubric. Cringe? Not at all. The emoji.
I was like, wait, is that a ghost?
You got it
see.
now, right?
Yeah, I got it now.
Funny? Maybe in Korean it's funny.
I think so.
Blush? It was surprising when we heard it.
Yeah, I think I would, if I, like, going back, if I hadn't understood the first time,
Yeah.
I think I would have blushed.
And then for That's What She Said, I put an eggplant emoji and a chili pepper emoji.
Flawless.
You feel me?
No notes.
And those are the nominees for Best
Innuendo.
Innuendo. Who's your winner, Kathy?
I would say Champagne Confetti was the most shocking one to me. Because again, it's like a song fully in English, and I had no idea until I saw the discourse on TikTok. So I was like, wow, the children are really getting very creative here. I really like ATs with Bouncy and the Kochu and all of that. So that's a very strong contender for me as well. Innuendo. ATs. I'm going to go with Bouncy for this one. Yeah.
And I'm going to go with Jungkook. I feel like it just, if you don't know, you don't know. And it just sounds so like.
And again, that song is also full of innuendo.
Right,
so he's
right.
like drinking your poison.
Right. I mean,
let it rain, you can't fake it.
Most pop songs are pretty much innuendos. Right. But it just Champagne Confetti, like it just sounds so like, you know,
innocent almost. Yeah, agreed.
If you open a bottle of champagne, it like
pops like confetti.
Right.
I don't know what else pops though. That chariot. Sorry. Sorry.
And with that, we move to our
daesang.
So like 2023 Song of the Year, Kathy version.
So my nominees for Song of the Year, this was very hard again. Like Laura and I mentioned earlier, we didn't even try with Album of the Year because this was already hard enough. But these are the songs that I think stand out to me. They're not necessarily always like my top song. Like I'm like, this song was it for me. But I think cultural resets need to be acknowledged. And that's why some of these are here. So Let Me In by EXO. I think that might be my Song of the Year, TBH. I love that song.
It's a good song.
I love that song. I stand by that song. I think so many things when listening to that song. And their voices, their harmonies.
It's like, amazing.
Baekhyun's riffs and Dio and Chen and like they all fucking understood the assignment.
They really did.
They knew what they needed to do and they delivered. I'm sorry.
100%.
And so I think that's my Song of the Year, TBH. The next nominee is Guilty by Timon. Also a very strong contender for Song of the Year. I think if I had had more time with it,
Yeah.
it might have even climbed higher in my heart ranks. But it's high. It's very high. Like it could also be the Song of the Year for me. Like this is, I don't know where the song came from, but it took over my life, and the entire album is truly good.
It is. It is really good.
It's very diverse too,
It
and
is.
it's just very mature, and I like that for
I like
Timon.
that
He's
too.
always done mature, but this
He
is
has.
very like overtly mature. So anyway, I really like it. Guilty, choreography, video, everything.
Is
The
amazing.
video for Let Me In was also great, and it brought me comfort because it was like the last thing that Kai was able to do before having to enlist. So
Yeah.
we already talked about that. Bouncy from ATEEZ, I think, is another really strong contender. I think it came out at the perfect time for the summer.
It did.
I only learn one choreography a year. 2022 was that, and 2023 was Bouncy. It's easy, but they do it in a way that like few people can truly
Right.
deliver the swag. So like normies like us can
No.
do like, you know, the steps, but not well.
No.
But it's still fun. So like when we go out and there's parties and they play the song, we immediately are like slowing it down, making it bouncy. So I really like the song. I think that comeback for me was stronger than the current comeback. Even though I really like the song, I do think Bouncy was just a moment.
It was.
It was a cultural reset, and the
It
concept,
really,
the video,
really
the
was.
choreo, everything for the song, the timing, everything was just right.
Perfect.
So I love Crazy Form as a concept, and I love the teaser, and I love the break, but there was something missing for me for Crazy Form to like be bouncy. Like it couldn't be bouncy. Cool With You from New Jeans. I fucking defended this song so hard because Laura was not having it. And I was like, bitch, this song is it. And I said for Temin, if I had more time with it, it probably would have ranked higher. I almost forgot Cool With You because it's been so long.
It has been so long.
And you know, New Jeans had such a strong start. This album or mini album, the EP, there were really good beats and attempts and stuff like that. Super Shy, Cultural Reset. Cool With You was more for me. Cool With You is my shit, like my type of just the melodies, the thing, the videos concepts were so good, both of them. So yeah, I'm just like Cool With You was amazing for me. Then we have Fast Forward by John Somi. This is one of those songs that I'm like, it's not that I listen to it all the time. If it comes on, I don't skip it. I do think it's a no skip song.
Agreed.
But it was a cultural reset. Korea slept on it. International fans slept on it. The gay community had to stand up and prove everybody wrong about how good the song was. I actually liked it from the very beginning, which is very odd for me. I don't like songs upon first listen, but this song, I loved it. It was very like Gaga influence, Britney, and I just really enjoyed it. I don't know that the rest of the album lived up to the title as much as Fast Forward did. But you know, the amount of idols that dance to this song, like the behind the scenes footage of idols doing like photo shoots or whatever, and then they start like going into Fast Forward. I think that song deserves its flowers this year. And then my last nominee for Song of the Year, I have to nominate Cupid because of what it did.
Right.
If you go back to the first episode of season 3 of this year, which we filmed in March, I mentioned that Cupid had me in a chokehold, and it had only been about 2 weeks since it had been out. So
it really, really did.
I appreciate what was done with Cupid. I understand why it went as high as it did. Everything that has happened after has been fuckery, but
that's not the song.
That's not the song's fault. The song itself, I think, did what it needed to do, and it drove 50/50 to levels of fame that they clearly were not ready for in terms of their management. So it's unfortunate that the group's evolution or devolution is what it is, but Cupid is definitely a contender for Song of the Year.
Agreed.
With all of that said, my Song of the Year, I'm sticking to my guns. It's Let Me In by EXO.
Wow.
Song of the Year for 2023.
That is a big deal.
Yeah. It really did me in.
Wow. I get it. I just removed it from my
no skips. I get that. It's priceless. It's a masterpiece. It's timeless. It's a classic. I will never get tired of that song.
Moving on to my song of the year
Woot
for
woot.
2023. So my nominees for song of the year are 3D by Jungkook. It's a K-pop song that wasn't K-pop at all.
Mm-hmm.
It made, well, first I should say my parameters for song of the year. Most of these songs are not songs that I would particularly choose for myself.
Mm.
Matter of fact, some of these, no, that's a lie. They're all in my top 100 songs, but they weren't like top 10.
Mm.
I chose them based on what I think they brought in for K-pop in
Mm-hmm.
general.
Mm-hmm.
So for Jungkook with 3D, like I said, it's a K-pop song that isn't really K-pop at all.
Mm.
It made him really go worldwide.
International pop star.
Having Giancarlo feature in the song, and I feel like he's a Gen Z like staple,
Yeah.
made all the sense and
Mm-hmm.
kind of cemented Jungkook as like a pop celebrity, a pop
Yeah.
prince, rather than like a K-pop idol.
Agreed.
A lot of people were a little upset that the whole album was in English, but the album wasn't made to be K-pop. It was made to be just pop. I also nominated Guilty by Taemin because I feel like he reset the whole industry with this comeback.
Yeah.
He is everybody's idol,
Mm-hmm.
like your idol's
Your
idol.
favorite
period.
idol's idol, yeah.
And he showed us what it meant to be authentic while still slaying.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the whole album is so him, and it is exactly what he wanted to show us of his person in this particular time.
Yeah.
Because if you guys have heard anything about his Guilty album, he had Guilty chosen since Advice, but decided not to go with it at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is giving us like a snapshot of who he is as a person right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really, really strong.
And that's something that I think is super admirable. And a lot of artists do this. Like they have a song that is good that they're like love it and they know that they want to sing it, but they know that it's not the right time for it whenever they drop it. Laura and I were talking about Temin a couple of weeks ago in my car, and we were just having this discussion about how Temin always feels like he's ahead of his time with the
Yeah.
songs that he drops. Like I don't think we ever appreciate his art to the right extent that we should while it's being promoted.
Yeah.
The only song that I don't feel that that's the same case for, it's like Advice. I think Advice was like right at the right time. Like I don't think Advice did anything superior, but I think everything else from Ace until now, Danger, Move, like truly
Yeah.
generational, cultural, tectonic shift, like impact.
And all of the songs have this like everlasting feel to it.
Yeah.
I can still listen to his older stuff and feel like it's still very relevant.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I'll be 150 and still be trying to learn how to spell guilty. Though I hope by that time I know how to say it. You know? I nominated Icky by Card. And hear me out. I know it's not the strongest song. However, I thought it was important because it accentuated explicitly that K-pop is also for adults. It came from one of the, if not the only mixed gendered group.
Mm-hmm.
It is explicitly adult content, as we talked about early.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it was like a, hey, K-pop is not just for teenagers,
Yeah.
teeny boppers.
Yeah.
It's also for adults. And there's a space for everyone.
Yeah. I think the song also, another reason that might not be a reason why you included it here, but another reason why it deserves to be here is just Card is cementing its stronghold with Latin beats.
Yes.
And Latin beats have been a part of K-pop for a long time now,
Yes.
but I think groups like Card are really honing in their use and dominion of these Latin beats.
Yes.
To have a stronghold on the Latin fans. And they're giving people like us who want to convert our friends and people here in the States another tool to do so with like sticky, catchy music.
Yeah.
Sticky, icky. And so I actually do understand why you put icky in here. And I think it did do a lot when it was dropped. So
that's a good point. I hadn't thought about it, but it's very true. And then the next song is Left Right by XG. I added it because it exploded XG to the world and to K-pop, really. They're not a Korean group, so it kind of like let them, even though they don't want to be called K-pop, it still like gave them like a opening to the world. And the song itself felt really fresh in like a retro kind of vibe, which
Yeah,
is
like
weird.
the 90s
Right.
nostalgia that we're all getting, but
Done
done
right.
well. Yeah.
And I mean, for me personally, I couldn't stop listening to it. It was so good.
I was trying to get her to listen to Shooting Star, but she was
I
like,
couldn't.
no, it's left right for me.
It was left right for me. The next song that I nominated is Perfume by NCT. And the reason is because it showed that NCT isn't just like super experimental music and that they can make some really wonderfully sexy R&B.
Yeah.
That they have members that have beautiful voices that can work with other genres outside of whatever sticker and kick it is.
Right. Which is, there's nothing wrong with those.
No,
but
no, I love it.
Laura almost put
Baggy jeans.
baggy jeans on this list. But I think Perfume is a beautifully complex song. It takes you on a journey with a lot of different beats and it's fun.
It is.
And the choreography is great. The video is great. The concept around it was really good. Like Laura was just dedicated to worshiping this song and the concept and the album when it came out. So I I I get it. I see it. And I think this was the perfect subunit to carry out the mission.
Exactly. They chose the perfect members to carry this little mini album.
Yeah.
And then finally, I chose OMG by New Jeans. So this song put the whole industry at a standstill. People couldn't move on from it. I couldn't move on from it. Still haven't moved on from it. Like it was everywhere. And because of that, I think Oh My God is my song of the year.
The song of the year?
The song of the year. Because
guys,
no,
this is a huge deal. You don't understand.
Hear me out.
Laura's not a girl group girl.
I am not.
Oh my God.
But again,
call the ambulance. I'm not gonna survive this.
I'm choosing it based on how I think it affected the industry. And I think New Jeans with Oh My God and Ditto did the most at a time where like December and January is like, to me, it's such a random time. Like I know a lot of things drop during those the time of the year, but like it was literally a cultural reset. The fact that this was their second drop in their career, which at that point was only like 6 months old.
Yeah.
And it was such a strong song. Like the whole dancing, the choreography, like absolutely
the concept, the
everything.
bunny hats, the music video. Honestly, I remember not being able to move on from the song. And like we said, it's still very present. I don't think New Jeans has a skippable song.
No.
They really don't.
I refuse to listen to Cookie.
Oh well, yeah, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
That's just wrong. But it's not because it's bad.
Oh,
it's
no,
just
it's
because
good.
on moral principle, we refuse to listen to it.
Right.
Because of the underage members and just the theme of the song. But yeah, New Jeans truly is just built different.
Yeah.
Min Hijin, lover, hater, knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And the song selections, the concepts, the branding, which is really her specialty, her bread and butter. She's doing a fantastic job with them. I like Ditto and Oh My God, like Laura said, they were dropped at the perfect time. Like perfect time.
And it was a song that kept coming back, whether it was because of Changbin doing it as like a funny joke.
The Oh My God.
It like lasted for way longer than like
most.
Right. And in Halloween, people were still dressing up with those bunny ears.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's unequivocally an amazing, incredible milestone 2023 song for sure. But I really am shocky cookie that you went the distance and called it your song of the year.
I had to do it to him.
Wow, you really did. Usually we joke and because of Spotify telling us that we are 96% compatible musically, which these days it's telling us it's 100% compatible. But truly, once you look at our music for the year and the rap reports, it's not that we're that similar or that we listen to that many of the same songs on repeat. It's different experiences for both of us or what we want out of our musical experience. And I think this not list of nominees shows where the overlap is and where it isn't.
Agreed. And with that, we
Yeah.
really hope you enjoyed our second episode of the season where we film in person.
Yeah.
And
it's not easy for us to do this. Like,
it's not.
the logistics and the technical difficulties, and it's a lot. So we
It's a
hope
lot.
that you guys enjoy it.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Happy holidays. This is, like we mentioned at the beginning, our last episode for December. We'll be back at some point in January, maybe.
Mhm.
Depends on our plans for
Yeah.
many other things. So stay tuned. We do have exciting plans in the events realm coming. We celebrated our second anniversary yesterday, actually. So happy birthday to us. Can't believe that MIA2K podcast has been at it for 2 years already and still going strong and still excited for what's to come. Yet to come. And yeah, so we wish you guys a happy holiday season with your family. If you're celebrating, if you don't, we just hope that you have a fulfilling couple of weeks, and we'll see you next year.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the MIA2K podcast. We have lots of great content coming up ahead, so please don't forget to follow and subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you enjoyed our episodes, please rate us 5 stars.
And for the real-time tea, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook by searching for @MIA2K Podcast. Dale. Bye.